Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Pick and Roll. It's time for a brand new week of NBA betting here on the Board YouTube channel, which is, of course, the Hammers NBA content division. And we're back after another difficult week, but we're looking to set things right this week, have a winning week, get ourselves into the holiday season with a bit of extra cash in our pockets, because certainly we know we could all use that. So we put in the work. We got 4 picks on the way for you guys today. We're excited to give. 3 of them are going to be just normal show plays, one of which is that bonus big SGP. And the support has been everlasting despite perhaps some difficulties on the show. So we're only going to ask for 50 likes to give out that bonus big SGP today. So support the show by smashing that like button. Help us get to that 50 mark while we are live. And we'll have a plus 333 bet to give you guys, in addition to these 3 plays that we have on the show over here. If you're not subscribed to the channel as well, please make sure you do that. Let's get into the plays that we have here. Some questions about the lines being available for one of these. So let me just do one last double check to make sure that everything is in order for the show. And indeed, we are ready. All right. So the first play we are going to is in the Clippers and Pacers game. We are going to Paul George on a straight player prop number over 23.5 points for PG. That is minus 105 at DraftKings and MGM. This one I looked is all over the place for numbers. So make sure you're line shopping and make sure if you're watching live, you get this number while you can. In another game here, we're going to the Rockets and Cavaliers. We have a minus 128 play at BetMGM. Oh, sorry, this is at FanDuel. I wrote it twice. My mistake. This is a straight player prop at FanDuel for Jarrett Allen under 15.5 points in the Rockets and Cavaliers game. It is not an SGP, straight player prop on Jarrett Allen. And our third play is in the Rockets and Grizzlies game. Oh, sorry, I'm all over the place today. I'm still sick. It is a play in the Grizzlies and Thunder game. It is Desmond Bane under 29.5 points, and it is an Oklahoma City Thunder win. That is the 2 legs on the SGP. That is at MGM. That is minus 115. All right. I'm going to get myself in order. Pips, he is in order today because he has all these plays available. Yeah.
You are still in the last week with those matchups. Hopefully, we are not with our
Yes,
winning
we certainly are looking to move. I'm still stuck. All right, let's move past that and let's get to that first play. It was the Paul George play, and explain to us why we're back in PG.
Yeah, so if you take a look at Paul George this season, when he's playing 25 or more minutes, he is at 23.5 points average. He's over in 13 out of 21, so 62% of the time. So he's over more than not the average that the line that he's average. And now gets the playing against the best matchup, like high pace, worst defense, good matchup for his play type. And then we can see at the Paul George games against his Indiana Pacers. I would say his, as someone that watched a lot of his podcast, he's openly saying that game matters to him a lot, not countless times. That. And if you take a look when he was playing away at the Pacers, when he was in Indiana, last 4 games, 36, 36, 36, and 45 points. If you take a look at the field goal attempts, 23, 26, 25, 25. Like, yeah, he goes there and plays a little bit harder than any other game. And as I said, best matchup, highest total, pace, everything great in this matchup, and there is no one to guard him, honestly, on this team. If they make any adjustment, it will be against James Harden or Kawhi Leonard, not against Paul George. So yeah, I think this is an insane spot to bet on Paul George. The best he can get all season, probably.
All right, so there's your first play. Pretty simple handicap, but oftentimes when it comes to motivation in NBA, that can be a significant factor. The Allen play has apparently moved very quickly here. I can definitely confirm it was available when we gave it out. However, if it's gone if it's now gone, if it went very quickly here, let's perhaps do some alternatives here. So if you have access to Bet Rivers, that one should be available at minus 130. I'm just gonna double
Yeah.
confirm on that one here. If you have access to Bet Rivers, Unibet, if you're in Ontario, you could have access to North Star. That one's apparently at minus 130. Let me just double check that.
I
But
think Bovada and Bet Online have at minus 135. I would still play there, probably.
okay, so if it's gone, so we'll say like, what would you say is the highest price you'd go to here?
I'll go like minus 135 or getting like plus 100 minus 105 at 14 and a half.
Okay, so I am looking Bet Rivers. It is pulled on Bet Rivers. So for viewers watching perhaps later, or if you're watching live, take a look later on in the day and try to play at these numbers as well. Let's give out the handicap here, just so people understand. Perhaps later, looking at this one, why they want to look at why they want to, why they would want to play it here, and talk about why you like Jared Allen going under in the matchup against the Rockets.
This is play type. If you take a look the way he's scoring, we can see that the Rockets are actually the best defense for that type of uh, for defending players like Jared Allen. So Rockets this season are allowing sixth most points to the opposing. Can you just share the screenshot I sent
Yeah,
you?
yeah, I have the right one up. Here we go.
So as we can see, Jared Allen is scoring 28% of his points via transition, and your Rockets are ranked number one defense of the transition, and he scores 72% of his points via pick and roll as a roll man, and the Rockets are number one defense on the allowing the least points to pick and roll rollman. So he scores points via transition or pick and roll rollman. That's the only way he scores his points. And in both categories, the Rockets are number one defense, and they also allow the least points to opposing centers. So this is a very difficult matchup for Jared Allen. Okay, Garland and Mobley are out. Mobley being out probably helps him a bit for scoring, but Garland being out doesn't help him at all because most of his assists comes with Darius out there. In games that Darius wasn't playing, his usage was actually lower than in games when Darius Garland is playing. So difficult matchup for him on that part. And if you take a look at his totals throughout the season, he averaged 13 points a game. So it's a bit inflated due to crazy games against last game against the Hawks. He had 21 points at the halftime, ended up with 25, and they made some adjustment. They were blitzing heavily Donovan Mitchell, and it was like wide open dunks for Jared Allen. There's no way Houston Rockets do that. And also Capella was out, so he was playing against pretty small lineups of Hawks. So yeah, his line got inflated in that game. I actually looked at that 25 points, and I hope we get 15 and a half for the next game because that just doesn't make any sense. And if you take a look at the season totals, he's under this line. He's over this line with only 5 games so far this season. So he's under in 16 out of 21 games so far, and he's usually scoring 10 to 14 points in almost every game. Lately, he had some poor showing, 8 points against the Magic, 4 points against the Magic, 6 points against the Heat, and those games were without Evan Mobley. So yeah, if even he's facing a tough defense, he's scoring of the pick and roll. He's not scoring like by himself, no self creation at all. So yeah, it will be tough against the Houston Rockets.
Okay, so there you have the second play. If so, this one went down pretty quickly here. So, can you repeat the numbers that you'd play this up to for people looking later on in the day?
15 and a half up to minus 135. If you don't have it available, 14 and a half plus 100 minus 105. So yeah, that will be some range, like maybe even minus 110, but I won't go over that.
Okay, so like absolute Bottom you can go to is 14.5 minus 110. We
Yeah.
try to see minus 105 to plus 100 if this one or when this one opens back up. But if you see a 15.5 minus 135 or better, please go and play that over there. Unfortunate timing, how quickly that one came down after giving out. Okay, let's go to the third play. This one was available for sure for plenty of people to grab. So we have the Grizzlies and the Thunder. I have it fixed up here. And it's Desmond Bane under 29.5 points and the Thunder money line for minus 115 odds at MGM. All right, take it away.
So if you take a look also for Desmond Bain, first off, this is a big spread. So it's 10-point spread for the OKC for a very good reason. And yeah, I mean, if you take a look at the scoring for Desmond Bain, he had some big scoring games against the teams that are like when you look at the way he scores are very good matchups for him. And also he had so many games where he scored exactly 30 points, 28 points. Like he was always in that range, but with this game being a huge blowout chance and with OKC defending him great. So he scored 34 points, 34% of his total points via transition. Oklahoma OKC is third best transition defense. He scores 7% of his points via isolation. OKC is second best isolation defense, and he scored 36% of his points via pick and roll as a ball handler. OKC is fifth best defense there. So overall, he's scoring 77% of his points via play types that Anders defend well. So if we just go together with this number, 77% of his points, and OKC is ranked top 5 in all of these. So this is not an easy matchup for him at all. Also, individual defense will be Dort on him, and I love this because he has size to defend the Desmond Bain strength, and he can match up very well with him. And I expect like the way that Memphis is playing, you just need to take away Bain from that game and you'll win. And this is correlated. If Bain doesn't score 30, I don't see any chance for Memphis being close in this game. So I just think this is a good way to bet this one, as I expect. There is a huge probability of OKC blowing them out. So they are playing great lately, and Memphis are playing terrible lately. I watched the game against the Rockets, 2 games against the Rockets. They lost both. Pretty easy losses for like my Rockets didn't play well, and they still won. And it was like easy wins in both games. So yeah, I think OKC currently playing way better. Watch the game against the Denver. They're amazing, great comeback, great win late in the game against healthy Denver Nuggets. That's just insane.
So there you have it. So perhaps sportsbooks aren't quite sensing the matchup difficulties for Bane here. So the under looks like a very interesting spot here, along with that money line, which is directly correlated. So that is the third play here. Pleased to say that we are above the 50 likes we need for the bonus big SGP. However, before we get to that, we have to recap the previous day's plays. This is the unfortunate one because Friday is the worst day probably the show has had. I don't think we've ever had an 0-4 day in the season and a quarter that we have done on this show. But it is a day we have to recap. We recap every day, and we're let down in one leg on each of the parlays. Scotty Barnes rebounds. He has 4 pretty early on. Doesn't really get any more. Turner has a really bad night. Cade Cunningham has like one of the worst games of his career. And Jabari Smith cannot hit anything. Pips, you wanted to talk about the previous 2 weeks, not just this day, but what is it that you wanted to add towards the audience here?
So yeah, I can go to every play, but blowout. Yeah, I mean, we had some poor variants lately. That's correct, completely true. But I didn't give the sharpest bets every day. I'll take it some of it on myself because yeah, I mean, doing these 3-player props and getting minus 110 is probably not the greatest idea. I mean, they do look great, but as we can see, not a huge sample size. But we did poorly on all these. Always one of the 3 guys had some terrible shooting game or he's not playing like Turner in that game. He played 18 out of first 36 minutes. They were playing poor and he was playing poor, so he was benched, didn't even have a chance. So it's always high probability for one of three players to have an off night, and we are betting overs. And yeah, I probably won't do that anymore on the shows. I will actually, with the time schedule we set going earlier, I will look to give out more straight plays. I've been doing that lately. We will see how it goes. Yeah, I mean, like we had tremendous start to the season. Over the last 2 weeks, we gave everything back. As I said, some was poor variance, so was something was on my end, not giving out the best picks probably. And yeah, combination of those two, we gave everything back. We just need to reset, start again, and try to go back on the winning track. I'll honestly try my best to do it, as I often do. Last week, yeah, not the sharpest I was. Probably my worst week on the pick and roll show, but I'll try to do my best moving forward and trying to turn this around. And I think I'm capable of it, or we are.
All right. So we appreciate everybody backing us, backing Pips to do so. The support is still here on the show. We did hit the like goal that we wanted for the big SGP. So we are very much appreciative of the supporters that we have on the show. And of course, Pips said a lot of work is going in to try and rectify this, get ourselves back on track for the season. And we have the bonus big SGP that we are going to go through today as well to try and help with that. We had a hot start to the season on big SGPs. We've cooled off a little bit, but these are still very profitable plays for the pick and roll show. So that play is in the Mavericks and the Nuggets game. We're picking two of the players that we go to very often on the show here. That is Doncic and Jokic featuring, but it's not just them. It is plus 333 at BetMGM for Aaron Gordon over 11.5 points, Jamal Murray 15 plus points, Michael Porter Jr. over 1.5 3-pointers made, Nikola Jokic over 7.5 assists, Luka Doncic over 7.5 assists, and the Denver Nuggets money line. 6 legs, 333 odds. Let's go and get this one and have a big day here. Pips, talk to us about this play and why you're feeling this one for the big SGP.
As always, I just expect Dallas to double team Nikola Jokic, especially with Lively out. They will need like no way they can let him score inside, and that will just open the game for Gordon. That will just open the game for Jamal Murray, and shooting is never not open for Michael Porter Jr. He will take some crazy shots, and this game will probably give him a couple of more great looks. So yeah, I'm going with that's correlated, but Jokic assists with all three other second, third, and fourth scoring option going over of their lower alternative lines. That's the way I see it. I have zero doubts that Denver will catch the screens and blitz Luka Doncic in tonight's game. That's just how they defend him. And Luka Doncic lately is grabbing assists like a maniac. Like lately, his numbers are crazy. Even if they don't double him with him, he should smash this. So over the last 6 games, Luka had 18, 11, 10, 6, 17, 13, and 10 assists. So he had 10 or more in 5 out of the last 6 and averaged like 12 or 13 a game. And now against Denver, that usually double team him and blitz him and catch his screens, make it life difficult for him. I can see it being easy for him to cover those assist lines. But without Kyrie, I don't see Dallas winning this one on the road. Like I have like it's very difficult for them to win. And Denver did lose against the Thunder, and I think no messing around this time, especially with Luka-led team. So this makes a lot of sense to me. Double teams on Lokic, double teams on Doncic, both of them over assist, and then we have some second, third, fourth option on lower lines over. I just the way I see this game. And usually when I make the big SGPs out of some defensive schemes, it usually goes well. So I hope we'll have a winner tonight here.
All right, so we're hoping for that big day on the show. If you have access to ESPN Bet, it's actually at 425. So unbelievable differences available if you have access to that sportsbook. Line shopping always key, but we like to give it out where the high percentage of viewers can bet. MGM available everywhere certainly is capable of doing that. So let's get to that recap. Before we do, if you're tailing the plays today, make sure you smash the like button, support the show, and subscribe as well. We do shows like this every morning, 9:45 a.m. Eastern time. Well, morning, depending where you are in the world. Morning for me, afternoon for Pips. But wherever you are in the world, subscribe and have the notification bell on so you know when we go live. All right. We have four plays now for today's show. First of all, it is in the Clippers and Pacers game. We have Paul George back in Indiana. We're taking his over 23.5 for -105 at DraftKings and BetMGM. Second play is a bit more difficult here because availability went away very quickly. We got this under 15.5 -128 FanDuel, but this one, if it comes back up at -135 or better on the 15.5 line, take that. If it's 14.5, you can take it at +100 or -105. Absolute bare minimum you can get for this one is -110 on the 14.5 line, but that is for Jared Allen's under in the Rockets and Cavaliers game. The third play is the Desmond Bane play. We have under 29.5 points and a Thunder win as the Grizzlies visit the Thunder, -115 at BetMGM on that. And the fourth and bonus play is the Mavericks and Nuggets game, the big SGP, +33 at MGM, +425 at ESPN Bet. Aaron Gordon over 11.5 points. Jamal Murray 15+ points. MPJ over 1.5 3-pointers made. Nikola Jokic over 7.5 assists. Luka Doncic over 7.5 assists. And the Nuggets money lines. Those are the four plays. But there was a question from the chat. Numbers like this, Pips. There was a question where you pull the stats like this, if that's accessible to the public as well.
It isn't, but it will be in the future. This is the site I'm working on, and it will have the best tools all in one place. So you can just go there, click on one screen, have all the data you need to make the best bets you can.
All right, so some big things coming in the future. Everybody,
Yeah.
if you are supporting the show, again, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Me and Pips, we will be back tomorrow for more pick and roll, hopefully celebrating a hot start to the week and getting a winning day here, setting the show back on track. Thank you again, everybody.